Good morning, everyone, and happy Wednesday. This is Coffee and Headlines, our morning get together live here on Facebook, broadcasting from Colonia Lavena in Emiliano Zapata. Oh my God, that's completely new. I never said that before. Anyhow, here we are sharing news and headlines from our city, our state, and our country. Here we are reading your comments, ideas, comments, thoughts, suggestions. I said comments twice. Maybe I'm excited. I wonder why. It's Wednesday. We're walking today and we're meeting today. So it's a double whammy. So I'm drinking a lot of coffee and eating lots of chocolates just to stay unbalanced. It's great to see you. It's March 23rd and it's a beautiful day to be connected. It's a beautiful day to be walking. And I'm going to cut to the chase because our walk is, I think it's around half an hour, the walk itself. And I do want to throw a couple of headlines before we dive into our walk. But as always, if you are new, let us know by writing the word new in your comments. We'll say a quick welcome. If you have something really important to say that we want to bring up, that you want us to bring up during the broadcast, add a capital letter Q, and we'll be looking for it at the end of the news section. We will dive directly from the news to the weather, to the walk, and then we will be taking a look at your comments and questions as we go. So let's dive in. Just a few quick ones. For starters, this is nothing fun. There are pickpockets at La Isla, says this news note, which goes further to say that both locals, tourists, and store employees all agree on this fact. A specific incident is described that took place at a store called Cuidado con el Perro, great clothes, by the way, where a man felt something on his bum and acted quickly to find a woman behind him with his wallet. He asked for it back, and then the woman proceeded to cry violence against her. So just be careful out there with your belongings. They say COVID cases in Europe are on the rise again, and given the pandemic's behavior in the past, a fifth wave of coronavirus is bound to get here in a matter of months, but not today because it's Walking Wednesday and we have a meet and greet to attend this afternoon. Face masks have never been mandatory in Mexico, says Health Undersecretary Hugo López-Gatell at this stage of the game. You try saying that to the governors of several states, including our own, where thankfully the measure has always been more than a simple suggestion, and it has been mandatory. So if the Federation said, no, it's not mandatory, well, I'm glad that our governor did state that fact. And then, of course, the Insurgentes Bridge will be ready on the first week of April, says Vallarta Opina. But the Insurgentes Bridge will not be 100% ready by Semana Santa, but will open for vehicular traffic, says Vallarta Independiente. Regardless, I'll be in the hood tomorrow as I am attending a performance by my dear friend Gura Gabor at Encanto, and we'll take some snapshots along the way to see if we should engage the catapult or not. As you know, we've been advocating for an alternative method to get from one place to another. Hopefully, we will not have to engage the catapult at this time. Let's take a look at the weather. I think the sun is trying to blind my ocular sensor, says our snarky carrot weatherman. Whatever. It is 25 degrees out there. Feels like 25 degrees. Humidity is a low 20%. And our temperature in Fahrenheit degrees is 77%. I mean 77 degrees. Our weather forecast for today, clear day with a high temperature of 30, low temperature 14. Thursday, tomorrow, another clear day with a high temperature of 31, low temperature 16. And on Friday, we wrap the week with a high temperature of 31 and a low temperature of 18, of course, with another clear day. I love these winter clear days. And now, let us find the walk. Where is the walk? Walking, walking. Ah, here we go. Yeah. So this is our walk down Ecuador Street that we did was it last week, I think? I've never walked it from one end to the other. Look at that, that's the map. And of course, we already have a special map of the route ready for you. We're gonna share it in the show notes. And I was excited to do this because, again, I'd never walked the whole street. This is the one walk where I was trying to do it with my good microphone. And of course, once I started walking, I realized that my batteries were really low. And eventually the batteries died. So all the hi-fi sound was not possible. Still, I figured I would share the walk with you, and we will also put it online, even though it's not the audio we have gotten used to in recent weeks. I spotted this Mariscos place along the way, Mariscos La Perla. There were a few signs leading to it, so I wonder if it is a well-known marisqueria place. I've never tried it myself. Let's see. We are, of course, walking around Lázaro Cárdenas Colonia. And Lázaro Cárdenas, just so you know, was a Mexican army officer and politician. He was a general in the Constitutionalist Army during the Mexican Revolution. And he served as president of Mexico between 1934 and 1940. He is best known for nationalizing the oil industry in 1938, and he created Pemex, the government oil company. So we've gotten to the top of this small little hill, which is nothing compared to what is going to be coming up later on in Colonia Cinco de Diciembre. I can already see the stadium on the right-hand side, but I loved walking this street. It is very residential. It was very, very quiet. I think I went, it was a Monday or a Tuesday. I forget the exact date, but it was last week. Let me take a look at some of the comments you have shared, as long as this is quiet. Lots of good mornings, as always. Christy is itching for us to change our clocks. I think that's coming up in a week or two. Raymond, I look forward to seeing you this afternoon at Whiskey Kitchen. That'll be a lot of fun. Oh no! Javier's television exploded or imploded. That's happened to me before. Happy birthday to Lori's daughter, 43rd birthday. Happy birthday. Let's see. JC Garvin are new. JC and Barbara are new to the group. Everybody say hello. Cheryl asks, is there going to be a live broadcast from Whiskey Kitchen tonight? It would be fun to attend virtually. I appreciate that, but unfortunately we will not be broadcasting live. But I will take a few photographs. And here's the corner where the stadium begins on the right-hand side. We've walked this portion we have walked before because we've walked around the stadium. This is Las Americas Avenue. There's some great food vendors down the street to the right. Yes, like where the camera is pointing. There are a couple of fun eateries along this street. Patty reports on no face mask worn by a restaurant. Well, we know what to do when that happens. If you don't like the way things are, we can always turn around and walk away. If there's something we don't lack in Puerto Vallarta, it's many restaurants. Oh, check out these people that are coming up on the sidewalk. One of the amazing things of living here in Puerto Vallarta is you never know when you find somebody selling something fabulous on the sidewalks, and they never come back to the same place. So here, where these gorgeous chairs and recliners, well, not recliners, what do you call it when the chair leans back and forth? I don't know the English word for mecedora, but I even asked them if they were repairing or selling.
¿Las vende o las arregla?
Vendiendo, andamos vendiendo.
Muy bien, felicidades.
Rocking chairs, I think is the name. Look at those beautiful rocking chairs. I didn't ask the price or anything, and I know that if I go back the same day next week, you don't find them in the same place. That's the craziness of these kinds of operations. Back to your comments. Catherine has a perfectly wonderful suggestion. You know, if it bothered you that they were not wearing face masks, talk to the owners. Absolutely. Charlie says happy birthday to his wife. I say happy birthday to your wife, Charlie. Jonathan went to the International Friendship Club home tour yesterday for Amazing Homes. I'm glad to see that these are taking place. And I'm caught up with your comments. Yay, we're being efficient today. Baseball field to the right. And Ocho Tostadas to the left. We've been to Ocho Tostadas before. Love that restaurant. Linda asks, which colonia is this? Well, it is Colonia Lázaro Cárdenas for another half a block. Once we get to the next intersection, we will enter Colonia Cinco de Diciembre. Does Whiskey Kitchen have parking or just on the street? The answer, Mark, is just on the street. You can find parking around the corner and on the street behind. And that yellow building at the intersection, that is where Tacos de Canasta Andrade is located on the corner of Brasilia Street. And we discovered those tacos de canasta by accident when we were walking elsewhere around this neighborhood. And we fell in love with them. They are absolutely great. This street, by the way, is a nice alternative and very quiet route if you're walking towards El Centro, because you can continue walking down this street until the street starts getting hilly, at which point you can take a right and head to flatter terrain. Of course, I was not desperately, but I was determined to walk the whole street. Yes, we rave about Tacos de Canasta Andrade. And of course, you gotta love urban planning or lack of thereof. There are two huge, gorgeous streets gorgeous trees in the middle of this street, and they were never removed, which is wonderful. I took a look at the land, a piece of land where the new tower is going to be built on the corner of Francia Street and Medina Asensio, and there are at least 4 ancient trees in that property, and I'm sure they're going to be torn down, which is very sad. And here comes a vehicle looking to buy your old appliances. Televisions, microwaves. There you go. That television that just fizzled, there's a vehicle looking to buy it. We are now in Colonia Cinco de Diciembre, by the way. And this is, of course, the flat section of Colonia Cinco de Diciembre, which is quite lovely. The hilly section, of course, has spectacular views, but I actually spotted, and we will mention this on the walking tour, a particular building that has or had spectacular views of the bay, and of course somebody came in and blocked those views by building directly in front of the building. There are never guarantees. So this is Guatemala Street, still very flat, still very quiet. And just as an FYI, I walked into this little store just to see if I could find batteries for my audio recorder, and I couldn't, so I knew that I was not going to have good sound for this one, although it doesn't sound so bad. I was just bummed out because it was a little windy. This is, by the way, a real-time walk, so the 30 minutes that it took me to show it to you, or that it'll take me to show it to you, is the 30 minutes, that that it took me to record it. Sexy guy with his dog, who could say no? Look at that gorgeous tree. There's so much of that, and I am so glad that these trees are respected wherever they are, for the most part. Thank you for that, Harold. Street Art Mural Festival around Gallerias Hive on Friday. I heard about that, not exactly understanding yet what it is, but we will research and we will mention it. And that was a loud car, feeling unhappy about life. What can I say? Oh, Fei Long. Yes, Fei Long is an awesome Chinese restaurant. It's right there, in case you're ever looking for Chinese food. And here is where the climbing begins. I could look at the street from afar, and I knew that I was going to be climbing, but I had no idea I would be panting as much as I was by the end of the walk. But it's still manageable at this point. I'm grateful for the 88 of you that are still watching this live. You can watch this anytime, of course. And we will make this walk available on its own without my commentary. So if you wish to just take in the sights and sounds, you're going to be able to do that. Still, what I love about these streets is that they are so quiet. And it gets hilly as you go to the left. Look at how the pavement on the road has been fixed so that your car will not skid that much during the rain season. Still, crossing these streets is not fun when it's raining. Sherry asks, do you find it easier to walk on the cobble streets than on the sidewalk? More often than not, Sherry, especially when I'm filming, I tend to walk on the street because it gives a better view than walking down the sidewalk. If it's a nice sidewalk, of course, I will always try to walk along the sidewalk. Now, watch me leaning to the right after we pass this car on the right-hand side, because I found it odd. I found it strange how high the street goes, and yet the construction in there is still at a different level. How bizarre it must have been when they built that road, and all of a sudden your house front windows were covered by a high street, I suppose. Michael chimes in about high heels. Yes, you cannot do cobblestones with high heels. I tried once and it was not a good idea. And yes, we are panting at this stage of the game. Alan throws in another point of view. We always pick the sidewalk with the shade. That's a very common thing to do, particularly in the summer months. Look at how nice it starts to look. I mean, we're definitely climbing. High heels on cobblestones. That could be the name of a nice country song. Cute houses, yet still traditional looking houses. As we get closer to the top of the hill, we start seeing more modern condos, and that's just the nature of the beast. And this is one walk, my dear Den, that I would definitely not recommend for you and Kathy. So I'm glad that I can show you a little bit of what it looks like from uphill, up on the hill. Alrighty then. Ah yes, we are approaching a spot on the walk where I noticed that a very nice building with a very nice view got shafted because the people on the lot next to it decided to build and blocked views. So if you have invested a fair amount of money on a stunning condo up on the hill with an amazing view, you never have guarantees that the folks next door to you will not block your view at one point or another, and that is just the nature of the beast. Was I getting hungry following that lady with her lunch? You bet I was. So as you can see, we're up there. And thank you for that remark, Charlie. It is a nice walk because, I mean, if you can handle the hills, it is a great walk because it's quiet. It's relaxing. Thank you for that, Lori. My shoulder has been given a clean bill of health. I don't have to go back to see the doctor, and I'm just doing some exercises to make sure that I recover as much mobility as I can. But I'm feeling pretty good. Still a little sore when I sleep, but I'm grateful that it wasn't anything more serious. And I can hear myself panting, and that makes me very self-conscious. But yeah, it is a walk. And let's see where. Oh yeah, we're coming up to that spot, and I'm gonna stop the video for a second. Yeah, and 1, 2, and there it is. See, this nice building had a nice view, but look at all the constructions that is going right in front of it, and all of a sudden the market value of your condo went down. Bummer. How do my legs feel today after the walk? Well, actually, this was from last week, Javier. And I always sleep very well when I do exercise like this. And yes, my legs were a little sore for a couple of days. My cousin Norma and Luna's original mom chimes in. It's great to see you, prima. Besotes. So I knew that this restaurant, Ay Caramba or A Caramba, was coming up. I had never been in there, and I figured, well, I know that's high up on the hill. I want to at least check the view. Originally, had they been open for service, I would have actually stopped here for a cold beer or something. But the restaurant was closed, but the door was open, so I figured, well, let us go and take a look and see what the view is like. And check it out. If anybody has eaten here, I would love to hear any comments, good or bad, about the food experience. The view was spectacular, as you will see in a second.
Buenas tardes. ¿Me permite checar la vista? Es usted muy amable.
He was so nice.
¿Y la cerveza?
La cerveza, esa la cobran doble.
Ah, muy bien.
Isn't that gorge? Jay missed the beginning of the start. The beginning of the start, listen to me. We started at the very beginning of Ecuador Street, and we walked the entirety of it. And you'll be able to look at that in a map in a second. Alan asks, is that reservations only? I don't know. This was the very first time that I walked in here. But but it was great.
¿A qué horas abren? Ok, muchísimas gracias.
I
Buen
asked
día.
him, what time do you open? He said, in a little while. So I figured, okay, no beer break for me. So I'm just going to continue with my walk. And looking at the view, I thought to myself, my goodness, we did climb a little bit to get there. But moving on, it's all downhill from here. I cannot stress this enough, and I know I do it all the time, but walking around the city is really the best way to get your bearings, to explore the different neighborhoods. I've had such a great time, and I thank you for that, for giving me the incentive to go out and walk different streets and areas that I haven't walked before. I used to be of the mindset that, I don't know this street, I don't know this area, so why would I want to go walk there? But, as long as you're not going someplace crazy or strange, late at night, everything or anything that you do, you're bound to have a great walk, a great experience, a safe one. So there you have it. And Mark is right. Walking all the way up to the observation tower is definitely a stairmaster. We did it early on when we started Coffee and Headlines. We went all the way up there, and I remember I was not happy. Well, I was happy that I did it, but my body was not so happy. Oh, Julie says, I really appreciate these walks. It encourages me to go out and explore next time I come to PV. Absolutely. Absolutely. Unless you're here in the middle of the summertime when it's hot and schwitzy, then you definitely don't want to be doing this. Unless you have a nice swimming pool or a shower as your destination. Do I welcome cluster members walking with me while I am filming? Usually no, Charles, because I've made a decision to make these walks be about the sounds of the neighborhoods rather than people just conversing with one another. So it would be very awkward for me to say, well, you can walk with me, but we're not going to talk to each other because I'm filming. So I wouldn't even do that with my friends. But there are a number of groups in town that do walking tours like this that you may want to consider if you want to walk in a group. Some people have suggested, well, you should go out and walk in a group, but I am happy to know that friends of mine make a living doing that, so I might as well recommend somebody that does it. So we're headed back to civilization. This is one of the busy northbound streets. And once again, we're reaching another favorite watering spot coming up on the left-hand side. And that will be Mama Caguama's Tacos and Beer. So I was thinking, oh, should I stop for a beer? Should I keep going? And this was an errand day for me. I had a lot of things planned, but I figured I want to at least make a quickie stop at Mama Caguama's Tacos and Beer so that you can see it. And I know the guy that is in charge of the place, and I knew that he would have a lot of things to say to me. He would want to say hello. So I walked in and I just went like this when he saw me, and that's why he's taken aback when you see him show up. Check it out. This is Mama Caguama's, small place, great beers, great tacos, and there's the guy, and he stops, and I'm like, and he puts on his face mask, and he just goes, bye-bye. We're almost done. We are one walk away from Plaza Hidalgo. Back on flat terrain. Yay. Pepe's Tacos is real close, that's for sure. And I knew that I wanted to stop recording at the next corner, and that's precisely what I did. After this, what else did I do that day? I went shopping for yarn. I went to the Naval Museum, and I already showed you that. Then I met with a friend for cocktails, and then I had dinner. This was the night that I had dinner at, names, my potty brain. Where the bows are. Oh, shoot. I forget the name of the restaurant, but that's my crazy brain. Any plans to still do a Malecón at night walk? Absolutely, Susie. We just scheduled this one first, but we will schedule the Malecón at night walk sometime in the next few days when I find myself not having a lot of things to share with you. And that was our walk for today. I want to very quickly show you the map that shows the path and get myself out of the way. Hold on. For each one of these walks, we are now creating a specific map that shows not only the route, but also some of the landmarks that are mentioned, like Mariscos Ocho Tostadas and the Municipal Stadium, the Seafood Municipal Market, which was not far from where I was, the Chinese restaurants, and so forth and so on. So this is our way to help you better connect with our city as much as we can. And that's it. This is what we had scheduled for today. As you know, today is a very exciting day because it's the first time that we have an organized live in-person get-together. We have our meet and greet at the new Whiskey Kitchen location today from 5 to 7. It'll be the first time in 2 years because of the pandemic that we actually get together. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm a little nervous, but I am happy. I'll be the guy that's wearing something that was crocheted in case you miss me. No, seriously, thank you very much. It's been almost 2 years now. We're 10 days away from our anniversary, less than 10 days away. And it's always wonderful to remember that. Remember that you make this community and you make everything we do possible. So have a great day. If I get to see you this afternoon, it'll be my opportunity to thank you personally for being who you are and joining us on a regular basis. And again, we will try to take some photos for those of you who couldn't join us this time so that we can see how it goes. So if I don't see you this afternoon, hopefully I'll see you tomorrow. And if not, sometime in the near future. Have a great day.